How do you regain respect from your employees after you've come across as too nice? My husband and I are business owners with 45 employees in a small software firm. Since adding more employees in the last 18 months, the culture is changing. I blame our easygoing attitude. Increasingly, there is an attitude problem where negative pushback has become almost a daily occurrence. How do we lead our way out of this?
Okay, well, this is a rough one. Not by no means. I shouldn't have even said it's a rough one. It's a challenge, right? You have to hit the reset button for sure, and you got to let people know that things are changing. Now, I would straight up have a meeting that you sit everyone down and say, "Hey, here's what's happening. We are growing, and as we grow, we are going to have to evolve, just like a person." As you get older, you have to evolve. You have to become more mature. And here's some of the things that we're going to have to tighten up, right? Is instead of, everyone's just, hey, if you come in and you want to go, you got to, it's your kid's birthday. Oh, yeah, no problem, day off. You say, look, that's not happening anymore. We will do our best to let you out for your daughter's birthday. We will do our best to let you go take care of family members when they're sick. We will do our best to give you bonuses that you've become accustomed to. We will do our best to give you raises annually. We will do our best to continue to take care of you, but none of those things are guaranteed at all. We are trying to be profitable. In fact, we have to be profitable in order to continue as a business. On top of being profitable, in order to grow, we have to reinvest in the company. We have to take the money that we make and we have to put it back into this company in order to grow. And we are going to grow. That is our goal. And in order to grow, we are going to have to put procedures and standards in place. Now that will allow us to maintain some control and efficiency as we grow. If we don't do that, we're going to fall apart. So that is what we need to do. Now, why do we want to grow? The reason we want to grow is because we want to be bigger. We want to create more opportunity for everyone sitting in this room. We're not trying to grow for us. We're trying to grow for everyone. The more opportunity everyone has to advance in leadership, to make more money, that is what we are trying to do. But we can only do that if as we grow, we evolve and become better and become more efficient and become more standardized in the next 18 to 24 months. That is what we have to do as a company. So I would have a meeting and say something like that, something along those lines. Lay down the law a little bit. Now, also then you have to change your attitude. You have to somewhat change your attitude. Because you are Mr. Nice Guy. That's how you ended up in this position. You know, the husband and wife team, Mr. and Mrs. Nice Guy. Mm-hmm. And you can and should be nice as a leader. I understand that. But at this point, the team needs to get tightened up. And so you're going to have to impose some discipline on them in order for there to be freedom in the future. Surprisingly, right? Sure. But we know that. Now, I had a friend who was a platoon commander. And he worked with me and I knew him. And when he was a platoon commander, he was a real nice guy. Super nice guy. When he was a platoon commander, he was a nice guy. Super nice guy. Things didn't work out good for him. Because I don't know that, I don't specifically know what happened, but I know that things didn't go great. And when he talked to me about it, because the thing is, when I worked with him, we were all bros, and I was a young enlisted guy. But we know we were all bros, but we all had that level of respect. Hey, you know what? We can go out and have a beer tonight, but tomorrow morning when we get to work, I'm in the game, and I'm towing the line. And that's pretty much what we were all like. All of us enlisted guys working with this guy. And when he got to this new place, new command, all of a sudden it wasn't like that anymore. And he was broing out with people, and when you get back into work, they wanted to bro out at work. And it was like, well, we don't need to listen to you. We were having beers with you last night. Yeah. And that's what he told me. He said, I was too nice of a guy and I didn't get the respect that I needed to be able to effectively run the platoon. And it was not good. And he said something to me too, which I guess I instinctively knew, or maybe I didn't, but it stuck with me. It's real easy to give more slack to someone when you have them on a tight leash, right? It's real easy.
Yeah.
It's hard to do the other thing.
Yeah.
It's hard to, well, listen to this. When I have you on a tight leash and I give you a little bit of slack, you're happy. You're like, oh, look at Jocko. He trusts me. He's letting me go a little bit.
Yeah.
When I give you all kinds of slack, and all of a sudden I have to tighten it up, I start pulling on the leash. Well, guess what? It chokes your neck.
Yeah.
It chokes you.
I don't like
and I start bringing, and the further I got to pull you back the longer you're choking for.
Yeah.
And so by the time you get back to me, you're ready to bite.
Yeah.
And so that's what you have to do. You don't walk in and put the dogs out and let them run wild to the end of the leash and let them run wherever they want. And then try and pull them back in. Because when you let them go, by the way, you're thinking to yourself, well, this is a good dog. So when I let him run around, he's not going to do anything wrong. He's going to be a perfect saint. Well, there's a chance that that's going to happen. And there's a chance that that's a good dog, and you let him run around, and when you say come back, he comes back to you. There's also a chance that he's not a good dog. And when he gets out there, he starts running and starts biting people, or running in the road, or doing whatever bad dogs do. And so what are you going to have to do to that dog is you got to pull him back to you. And it's actually worse because we already know this is a bad dog. So now when you pull him back, he's pissed, and he's going to bite you. Whereas a good dog wasn't doing anything bad in the first place, and when you pull him back in, he looks at you and goes, hey, I must have gone too out of control. I'm sorry. I'm back in line now. You see what I'm saying? There's the way the whole thing unfolds is bad because the bad dog, he's a bad dog, and he's doing bad stuff when you give him slack on the leash, and when you pull him back, he's going to snap at you. The good dog, you give him all kinds of room on the leash, he's not doing anything good, and when you pull him back, he goes, oh, sorry. I didn't realize I was doing something out of line, master.
Sure.
I'll keep it in check now, and you can give me more slack if you want or not. Doesn't matter. I want you to trust me. Meanwhile, the bad dog, he's just like growling. He's pissed.
Salty.
So that's going to be a hard one. Not like I said, it's not impossible. But the big thing you got to do, I think, in this situation, you got to be clear. Here's what's going on. You could even potentially, I don't know how well you are of a speaker interacting with people, you could even say something along the lines of, hey, look, we've been running this real loose, and I've been we've been doing everything we could to run this as loose as possible, but we got to tighten it up. I think you could say that because you don't want to say, look, I've been being nice and I can't be nice anymore. Right. That comes across wrong. Yeah. But to say, look, we've been running it real loose here, and we've been trying to give you guys as much freedom as we can. And we still want you guys to have freedom, but we got to put some parameters in place that are gonna allow us to run this business efficiently as we grow and as we scale. Yeah, you can quote me on that one, by the way.
Yeah, makes sense when you say be clear and consistent. Like how some people, they'll implement rules, and I'm speaking from an employee standpoint, where I'm looking at the boss when they're trying to put in new rules to tighten it up, so to speak. Because in the nightclub industry, that tends to happen. Managers broing out. I like the term "bro out," by the way.
You never heard that? Have you never heard that before?
I don't think so. Not that I can remember. But
that's interesting. I thought that was pretty common vernacular, especially amongst a bro like yourself.
Bro out. Yeah. Broing out with them. Yeah, and the nightclub managers tend to bro out with people, or, bro out with girls, or whatever, the waitresses, whatever.
I don't know if you can bro out with girls.
Yeah, I know. That's why I had to go over
there,
it.
Didn't you?
There's probably a different word for it,
Check.
or group of words, whatever. But nonetheless, that tends to happen. So sometimes same situation. You get nightclubs in disarray as a business, then they got to tighten it up and apply more rules, and now you got to whatever with the clock-ins, it's like just little rules that, and
look at you, negative attitude. No, all these rules,
all these damn rules. Yeah, bro, I'm a late person, so the whole clock-in thing is, anyway, long story, but
it's kind of an anti-echo scenario.
So when the manager would implement the rules, but they don't follow the rules, it's, they just won't take, and people get more mad. But when you see there was this man, and he died too, unfortunately, Joel. He was our boss for a while, and he he had to kind of do that, like implement new rules. But this was a guy, he would bro out with you, but like it was weird. He did this weird kind of balance where he would break some rules, but then he'd follow rules. But the rules that he broke, he wouldn't care if you broke them, kind of thing. These are all small, teeny tiny rules, by the way. But he was a real consistent person, you know, where if he wanted something done, we were all doing it, including him, you know. And I remember thinking, man, I really like this guy in that way as well, where he's telling us to do stuff, but he won't because there's other managers, oh man, I can go into it, man. Where there's other managers and they were straight up like, I'm the manager here at this nightclub and everyone worships me. And it's a weird dynamic in nightclubs. Anyway, and they wouldn't follow the rules at all, you know, but you had to because you're the employee, you know, kind of thing. But yeah, when you're a manager, and again, from employee standpoint, and I see my boss following the new rules consistently. Yeah. It's so much easier to sign on. It's kind of like, okay, that's what we're doing. I dig it. And yeah, if you combine it with like what you said, being clear. Oh, I'm down. I'm down for the change. I get it, man. Yeah. I get it.